Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our 34th weekly call, hashtag 2024 recap. I am your host, Jen McEwen. I'm going to bring on stage Jesse Adams. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, almost New Year's. Hey.
I was hoping we'd have Christopher here today, but he's not online. So hopefully he'll hop in a little bit later into the stream.
I know he was traveling back and forth between his parents' family's house and their house, so maybe he got stuck in transit since it is holidays. But we wanted to do this anyway because it's we're still startup mode. We're still at our computers, and we have a lot to be thankful for, and end off the year with a recap. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So how was I hope everyone had a great holiday season. I guess the holiday season's still going on. Here in the US, we had as many for a melting pot here. So we have many different holidays to celebrate during this time. But I myself celebrated Christmas and Festivus. Thank you, Drew, for last week reminding me of Festivus, which turned out to be a real thing, not just a Seinfeld thing. It's on December 23rd. So I celebrated a little bit of Festivus.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess?
Yeah, family. For me, the Christmas is more about the kids. So, and I like to be a fun uncle. So, and spoil them, and I get to leave whenever I want. So that's the uncle part. So that's the best part of it. So they think I'm cool compared to the dad, and I can just peace out. So that was fun. And last night there was a really fun crypto Christmas event that happened. It happened around the evening. This guy posted. I don't know if you saw it, but this guy posted a story about his daughter having some brain tumor, and
I did.
A GoFundMe account. Ended up some Solana degens saw the story. One guy randomly created a token for him and then gave him like half the supply or something like that. And that supply that half the supply is shot up to $80 million market cap within a few hours, I think.
Wow.
And obviously he can't sell it out because the liquidity is not there. But just with the Meteor fees alone that he generated and some selling he did, his goal was to raise about $250,000, and I think he raised $1 million or more.
That's so nice.
So it's pretty cool. So, obviously some people, the degen space, they're making money off the story too, and there's part of that. But I think someone really tapping into this meme craze to do some good. And, at the end of the day, I think, if they can get something out of it, but also do some good, that's kind of like the altruistic mode of things. So overall, I think it was a positive story. The guy got on a live spaces last night and said, he's totally cool with the whole degen activity too. Like, brought attention to the story, brought attention to the fundraise, brought attention to the cancer research and to his daughter's story. He's like, yeah, go ahead and make your money if you want. We did well. It was great. It's Christmas. All good. So he's going to sell some of it starting tonight around 7. But I thought it was prette neat because a lot of the meme coins are all just like pump and dumps. This was actually a cool story, and it happened on Christmas.
For a good cause.
That was it. So I don't know if you guys follow that, but that was pretty cool. Besides that, we just ate a lot, and that's how our Christmas is all about too.
Yeah. Now the exercising begins, but not today. Today's Boxing Day. We got one more holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, commercial holiday.
Put on today. Let's go.
Yeah, mine didn't fit no more. But okay, so then we have one more week till it's New Year's. So this end of the year is coming up fast. So we figured. Well, first off, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How do you say Merry Christmas in other languages, in your language? I only know Merry Christmas and Mele Kalikimaka, which is the Hawaiian way of saying it. It's so fun to say Mele Kalikimaka Holi Makahikiho.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, okay. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Festival of Lights, Hanukkah, all the other holidays we celebrate around this time of year. And next week, we will also be wishing each other a Happy New Year. All right, so let's get started. We have some updates, some highlights. So Smart Liquidity shared a post about the most innovative projects on DePIN, and there you see us, top center. Thank you so much for including us. Cool. So they were looking for DePIN projects that are shaping the blockchain space and driving innovation and as they say, in diverse sectors. So decentralized storage, cloud computing, IoT technology or connectivity, real-time data streaming, and cloud energy sharing networks. So very thankful, Smart Liquidity, for sharing us on your list.
Yep. And speaking of liquidity, that's our goal. We've already started adding more to the pool. Our partnership with IoTex, we just gave them a bunch of UPT, started a UPT and IoTex liquidity pool with them. And early next year in Q1, our goal is to double our liquidity for UpRock. So yeah, so it's cool to get a shout out from them.
Yep, thank you. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. And then number 2, so Papa Musk himself shared this post from A16Z. You know, they're announcing their Series C on investors, and so he quote retweets this with, "A lot of compute is needed," and our very own Ridvan shared his own addition to that comment about how the shared economy is fueled every major tech disruption, and AI will be no different. And that's really what we're trying to solve here, right? Because compute, in order to feed AI properly, I mean, you need a lot of
data,
of compute, and you need a lot of data, and that's really currently unfeasible in centralized systems. And this is where DeepIn really solves a very real and urgent necessity.
Yeah, there's a good, I forgot the clip, but I mean, in the AI internet space, or everything's gonna be AI soon, or driven by it. There's only there's two things that everyone needs. It's compute and data. And then on the compute side, as a startup or any new company, it's really impossible. It's really hard to compete. There are distributed computes and stuff like that out there, but like at a grand scale, the amount of money the companies are spending, like SpaceX and X and Microsoft and Google, it's like in the tens of billions of dollars. It's impossible for any company to compete with that. Where every startup can compete, though, is in the data space. Whether it's you have niche data or unique selling point of data, or how you grab the data, it's going to be never ending. Some of it's, and there's just, as that's continuing to grow, and more real time the better, and the more niche the better. So this is a place that we're excited about, because this is where the people matter, and decentralized network is powerful because you can trust it more than the centralized version. So yeah, anyway, a lot of compute and a lot of data will be needed.
Yes, very much so. All right, sorry guys, I just got a ping from Christopher. He's in a different time zone. So remember when we had our time zone change?
Yeah.
We were all 3 of us like an hour late. So I don't know if Chris is gonna be able to make it, but I know he's probably like freaking the fuck out right now, man. Trying to hurry up. Anyway, so he's a different time zone. So hopefully he can make it. Well, we'll see. And if he does, it will be a Christmas surprise. All right, next up we have, I can't read that one, it's very small. Let me get my bigger screen up here. This is by Dylan Bain, a year in review of 2024 for, in particular, DeepIn, how the sector's total market cap not crap. Sector's total market cap surged by 132% year over year to $400 billion. And so Dylan shares other, more projects in the DeepIn sector, and includes many wonderful projects included. I think I see UpRock here too. So thank you again. Thank you, Dylan Bain, for sharing us on your list. But this is also another great post on the state of DeepIn and the state of the space for this year and what we can look forward to next year.
Yeah, the Masari guys, they're the ones that coined the term DeepIn. I forget when that first article came out, but I think it's only been a year or a little over a year since the DeepIn narrative really took off and went viral and caught on fire. But I think it's only been over a year. So everyone who started getting funding or started to build in the space, this whole past year has been all about just building the networks up, using the token incentivized network to scale faster than ever before. And so this is a really good setup for DeepIn for 2025, because a lot of these companies have just been building, they're deploying all the capital that they raised in the past year on the DeepIn narrative. And there's, hiring people, building teams, building the product. Some people are already making some revenue like us, but I think a lot of this is going to really start to ramp up 2025, because this whole year was just it was all about building and raising money and then starting to work on it. So cool.
That
chart was very small a year ago, and now it's a pretty big chart.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And see, I'm curious what's going to look like next year. But like you said, yeah, this was the year of build. Nothing beats a good market craft. Yeah, I probably need to take a sip of water because my mouth isn't working right now. Okay, so what you were saying, yeah, this was the year of like ramping up and building, and next year I'm super stoked to see I'm very stoked to see what next year has in store. I mean, I know what we have in store.
Yeah.
And that we're just one company or one project in this big sea of projects that have come up in this last in Deepin that have come up in this last year. So I'm really excited to see what everyone's got going.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful. All right. So on that note, guys, we were thinking we could do a quick recap on UpRock for last year. I don't have any slides for it, but we would talk about it. I assume a lot of you are on listening to this and not necessarily watching, so you could just hear our voices. And I figured, Jess, what about we talk about what happened probably month over the last year. I could get it started. Raj shared a really good article on this on our X this morning. But okay, so what did we do? We started January 2024. We focused on app adoption and onboarding, and we pulled pushing installs across to reach the entire Web3 crypto sector. So that's around the time, we had the Android app out. And then the next month after that, I think shortly after that, we released the iOS application.
Yeah, I think the main thing was beginning of the year is when we really started to take off with installs. I think the point was there is beginning of the year is when we start to see traction and our messaging was starting to resonate.
Yeah.
Deepin was just starting to take off. People didn't quite get the term yet, but they understood the idea that data is new oil, that AI needs all the data in the compute, and this idea of like, let's make AI work for you. Let's make some passive income on this and use your real world devices to bridge it to the virtual world and have it do things that as a community that the internet needs and make the internet a better way. Those kind of messaging is what really started to get it right at the beginning of the year. And that's when we started to see really fast organic growth where we, was maybe a few hundred installs a day to up to 2,000 or 3,000, 5,000 a day really quickly. And then that was what the momentum led to us going into the Jupyter Launchpad and kind of like springtime, I guess. Yeah.
Let's see what we have here. So in February, we reached 165,000 total users, 65,000 monthly active users, and 23,000 daily active users, processing over 4.5 million transactions monthly, 150,000 daily transactions, generating 6.7 million UPT, and 5,600 plus when token in rewards.
Yeah.
We earned the 4.9 Google Play rating, which is really great. I mean, almost 5% or five stars there. And we crossed over 300,000 real IPs. So, and then that's when we started getting featured in Deepin chart. So we were featured in Solana's Deepin chart under the compute and AI section by the Super Team DAO. So really, really a lot happened that first quarter. Oh, actually, to round out the quarter, Q1 of this year, we also introduced the When Rewards. It was a referral program on Wednesday. So every Wednesday, you got an airdrop of some When tokens. We highlighted the UpRock Deepin infrastructure as an AI-driven tool, just as you just mentioned, and we surpassed a milestone of 500,000 installs. So this is before we get. Let's see, when did we get the iOS app out here? I don't know if we have that listed on here. But that was around the same time, right?
That was actually a little bit late because we ended up getting busy with the Jupyter Launchpad.
You're right.
It took some time. I mean, really, all that momentum and the community support really allowed us to hit the ground running with Jupyter Launchpad. And at the same time, a lot of the crypto venture capitalists VCs were starting to reach out to us because what they really want to see is traction and a good team. And we had a good team, but we didn't have the traction last year, but really started to take off. And so that we started to have some really good conversations. And obviously, if anyone has ever fundraised before, it is a living nightmare in hell. And just going around and begging for money and saying the same jokes and pretending to laugh at all of it. But yeah, but we got to do it. You got to do it. And it was really helpful to say we got this amazing community, and you can show it to them. You can show the comments. You can show the Twitter posts, the Discord channels, and the Telegram, and all the action we're getting on the Jupiter Launchpad. That really helped close the deal. So that was awesome. And that was the middle of the year. So that was
it was
the middle of the year. Yep.
Well, actually, speaking of fundraising, I mean, the next quarter, back in April, you went to Dubai. Well, I don't know necessarily for fundraising, but definitely for getting our faces out there, particularly your face out there. You went to Dubai when it was underwater.
Yeah, it was flooded. Yeah,
probably a lot last year. Your miles must be incredible.
Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so that was great, and also the Jupiter Launchpad. I don't know if you guys are like, I'm pretty outgoing. Jen's pretty outgoing, but doing live streams and going online constantly, most people don't really care to do that. Some people are like naturally good at that, but that Jupiter Launchpad, because it's so like building in the open, we had to get community support. It was a voting process. We had to be online 24/7, the entire team. So it's like a really good forcing function for the entire team to just be more social. And really, it's a skill you have to learn. And so everyone on the team, like whether you're posting more on your own X account or if you're engaging in Discord, everyone had to participate in order for us to actually win and get the votes. And we're like, you know what? After doing that for a couple months, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad. We cannot like just stop this after the contest. Like this is the way to go in the future. There's no like company brand name anymore. It's founder led, it's people led, and we got to keep this up. And so that's also a good thing that we learned from that Launchpad is this is the first time ever in our startup history with our team has been doing the same work on this different startups together for over 10 years. And so we've never been this social together. This is the first time we're all constantly working together to get online.
Well, we are social in real life. You mean like not social?
Yeah, like online. Like online. It's harder to do it online. Could you think too much about what people are going to say in the comments, blah, blah, blah. But you just put it out there and like screw it and have fun. So that was a good thing. Oh, speaking of being more social and getting online.
Yeah. Better late than never, Christopher. Good to see you. You're on mute, bud.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Sorry I'm late, everyone. I think one of Santa's reindeer must have kicked over the Starlink sometime last night when they left, but we got it fixed this morning.
Good to have you here.
Yeah, good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you guys. Boy, what a year it's been, huh?
Yeah.
We had some folks asking, "Where's Chris?"
Yeah.
So glad you came.
No, I'm literally not joking. The wing like blew the Starlink out of alignment last night or something. Discovered it this morning when my phone started ringing, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, why aren't my alerts working? Oh my God, what time is it even? Oh my God!"
Yeah.
And also, Jess. So Jess was just talking about being dedicated and being on dedication to be online more and be more present. All of us. Let's give a huge shout out to Tufi. Because Tufi just had, or his wife just had their baby. So, and he just had the baby like yesterday or something like that. And he's here on the stream. So thank you, Tufi. That's some dedication.
I feel like he's probably using the live stream to step out of the room for a minute and get a break. But he's online. So, all right. This is his second baby. Hey, Tufan. Hey, Tufi. What's up, man? Glad to see you. And yeah, congrats again on the baby. Nice. So we're just going through the recap half the year, talking about the Jupiter Launchpad, raise some money. That really allows us to have, the biggest thing about fundraising is give you good runway. We have a really solid runway, and that's every startup needs that to be able to get to the point where they can survive on their own. So that was really great, and that only happened because of the community. So I appreciate you guys again. So we started off with, I don't know, mentioned a few million transactions a month. Now we're today, I think in the past year, we've done over 1.1 billion transactions. I think we've done almost 500 million speed tests across 2.65 million devices. We're in 190 countries, plus 190 plus countries. And it's just increasing faster and faster. Now that we're on iOS, the desktop apps, the ratings are still going strong. And some of the new initiatives that we've done, like the game offer wall and routing that to iOS, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But all those things help increase our daily active users, allows us to actually close more deals and do more data tasks in the background. But yeah, that's kind of where it went. We started off with a few million, and now we're over 1.1 billion transactions, which is amazing, and that's fantastic. So yeah, what else? And then I think we did some great partnerships as well this year that really helped us grow. I mean, really, some of the Web2 companies that we worked with, being able to actually make revenue really quickly. We are going to be on track. Probably, last month we mentioned we were able to make almost, I think, what did we say last month? 8 to 10,000. This month it will probably increase a little over to 15 or 20,000. Our goal is to get to 50,000 fast. We're using all that revenue to buy back and burn UPT. So that's going to be awesome. And then also some of the revenue to directly just make our liquidity pools more deep. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what 2025 is going to be about as far as like getting more and more revenue. And then we have the Prism. We'll talk about that in a bit too. Oh, here you go. Yeah. Is it going to be, I thought it was going to be named Jesse, which is a great name, but.
Oh, you're talking about
not a lot of Jessies in Turkey based on my recollection, but
yeah.
Well, we all know, all of us on the team know what a great Uncle Jesse is. He's perfect at baby care. He shows up with an electric toy puppy and a bunch of sugar, and then an hour later he's like, "Oh, look at the time, got to get back to work. Bye." And always like, "Bye, Uncle Jesse. Bye."
The goal is to always buy the most annoying, loudest toy ever. Like a drum set or something.
You're good at that, sir. You're good at that.
Sirens, and then a bunch of sugar, and then peace out. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, so we have I mean, honestly, I'm looking through the list of this last year of 2024, and there's just so much, and I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. But I mean, there really was just so much that we did. But we had we had the Android release, the Windows release, or I'm sorry, the Mac release. I guess those were the end of 2023, perhaps. Yeah. Or maybe they were, I can't remember now. iOS.
No, I think we didn't actually release Mac until like February or March or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
iOS was definitely 2024, yeah.
Four platforms. So we had iOS, then we had Windows and Linux for product releases. Jesse was traveling all over the world, did the Jupyter Launchpad and TGE within a month of each other. We had the whole team got together. We went to Istanbul, and we will see each other again. Maybe not the whole team, but we'll see each other again next year. Very excited to see that. We launched Liquid Staking Token. We had ore mining. We had a bunch of campaigns.
Yeah.
Integrated with Bright Data. We introduced staking in the apps. We introduced a developer program. What else?
DeepIn DAO.
Yeah.
That was actually amazing too. That DeepIn DAO is taking life of its own, but it's been a really great vehicle for us to partner with other DeepIn and make connections with other DeepIn projects. And because that DAO is all about DeepIn, other DeepIn projects reach out to that DAO to include them as part of their DeepIn launch. So when they're going to launch a product or launch their company in the first place, they want to do it through many good communities like the Deep Pioneers. And so they'll reach out. Then we get to know these early DeepIn companies early on, make connections with them. And a lot of those are actually going to be very fruitful because we'll actually be able to do some data transactions together. And then also we cross-pollinate our community. So if you're interested in UpRock, you're probably really going to be interested in this new DeepIn thing that this whatever company is doing in any space, whether it's like electricity or farming or healthcare or financials, whatever. And then vice versa, that if you're interested in that company, you're most likely might be interested in what UpRock is doing as well. So it's been like a good way to just create some co-marketing collaborations campaigns. And that was a really good, that was not money well spent, but it's time well spent. Way better than paying for ads and try to get attention is to do it through the crypto way, which is through community events, through giveaways, through NFTs, through stuff like that.
Well, and you know what I love about what we did with Deep Pioneers when Jesse came to me, I was probably buried under a server rack somewhere, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna do some cool NFTs because people like NFTs and it'll be amusing, and then they'll learn about us." And I was like, "Yep, cool, sounds good." And then next thing I know, we're deep into on-chain contracts for actually inventing a whole new type of NFT and allowing for the pooling and the redemption and the reminting, but because nothing is ever simple. This is my lesson when Jesse comes to me and says, "Hey, we're just going to do this." I need to be like, "Say what now? What?" But it's amazing because it has taken on a life of its own. Other projects are converting over to use the same contract as dPioneers, and it's been able to bring this whole new part of the community that we're just so happy to have here. And like Jesse said, I totally believe this. We spent some money and some time on building dPioneers, of course, but we could have easily spent that money and time just making some ads and buying ads or something, and then it would have been gone in an instant. And now it's actually helping to create this really sustainable source of traffic and source of inbound leads for UpRock, which is helping the entire community. Every time we get a good deal or something like that, that benefits everyone in the community. The other one I want to talk about, there's probably some questions about this, so it's a perfect time to bring it up. What's ore mining? That's an interesting one.
Oh yes,
we did something. We did something really, really interesting with ore mining. We don't think anybody's done sort of a real compute-based mining task. Certainly not on mobile. Not the way we did with ore, where you could just get it and download it, and it was simple and easy. And as we saw with our first implementation of that, it just, the rewards weren't quite high enough to be sustainable. And so we took it down for now, but we still have all the code. We still have all the implementations of the actual Equihash algorithm and everything else that run great on Android. And we know, we've been keeping an eye on it, that they've been making changes, and now they have the group mining code and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know when. It's not going to be in the next couple of weeks, but we are going to bring ore back, at least for a trial again, and see if we can make it more rewarding for everybody.
Because they've been announcing a few things. The group mining, because we were thinking about doing it because that would have made it worth it for everybody. But it's like it's a lot of work, and the main thing was we wanted to just do enough of it so we can actually enable it, and we had to do the work anyway if we wanted to enable any on-chain tasks. And so this is why we're like, this is a great way to do it. Well, might as well also earn some ore and also enable it for future on-chain work. But it just ended up costing more because of how it works. And they announced a funding round, and they also announced that they're going to work hard on a group mining. And we're like, okay, if they're going to do it, let them do it. That's what their purpose is. So once they're live, we'll look at their code and then see how fast it is for us to adopt it. Then we can bring it back. Then it makes more sense for everyone.
Yep.
Then you can actually earn some proper rewards for ore. But until then, it was minuscule. But the work itself was pretty cool. I mean, the fact that our community had had millions of hash power almost instantaneously. The other thing it allowed us to prototype that's already being implemented in partnership products right now is it allowed us to really implement and demonstrate what we call heavier tasks. So allowing people to opt in to do slightly heavier tasks, which are going to bring a whole new series of rewards to UpRock. So we're already deep in the implementation on one of those, and should be shipping very soon. And so that allowed us to do all of that. So Ore was a really interesting community experiment, and it's also, that work has paved the way for us to do more things like that going forward. And also, this is one where as we look at the community, we always want to make sure that if we are putting a task out there, it's genuinely rewarding for everybody, not just oh dear, Drew, let's get heavy. But yeah, not just leaving it out there because we did it and to have one more checkbox to take out, but actually go, okay, this wasn't perfect. And there's another great example of that. So I think I can think of two things this year that we worked really hard on that ultimately, or was one where we said, nah, it's not rewarding enough. And the other one was surveys. We're definitely going to have surveys eventually and quite soon, but we actually worked really, really hard on getting some surveys done. And we signed contracts with a provider and everything else. And after we got them fully implemented, maybe we can even share a screenshot or something if we got one floating around. After we got them fully implemented, we started looking at it and we went, wait a minute. These guys said that they had lots of surveys and they had surveys available for all of our user base. And then they just didn't. The surveys weren't there. And we said, we're not going to again, the worst part was, it wasn't just that the surveys weren't there. It's that they would say they had a survey, and after you took a couple of preparatory questions, it would almost always say, no, you can't take the survey
because they were so super narrow targeted.
Yeah.
And so that would have been so disappointing for everybody if we send you a notification like, because their system says us, hey, here's a new survey available in this region, and we send it to you guys, and then 99% of the time it says, haha, sorry, you can't do this survey. That wouldn't be cool. And so we went back to them and we said, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to, that's not what our users want. Our users want surveys that they can complete and earn something right away, quickly and easily. Yeah. Also, their UI was kind of not that great, but we could have fixed that. But those were the two things this year that I can really think of where we said, hey, our community expects better than this, and we're not going to, even though we have these things that they're working, we're not going to launch them because we don't want to launch something bad for the community. We're gonna let them cook a little bit more until they're really genuinely rewarding. That's got to be like our mantra.
And I'm sure like the company will probably, I'm sure we're hardly the only ones that are going to say like, no, we should only serve surveys that the participants can actually participate in. We're hardly the only ones that are saying that to them. So I'm sure that I'm hopeful that they will have their situation sorted out next year. But either way, there's many different other solutions that we can look into. So yeah, that is coming. But anyway, that was those are some two. That's the whole point, right? You build fast and you just try lots of new things. And unlike the way it's traditionally been, where all this kind of stuff stays inside, stays inside the company and the team. And of course, there are some things like internal stuff that we discuss. But unlike the way business that traditionally we're on, we do weekly updates to tell you what we're working on, what we're thinking about working on. We work with our Rocketeers and their mods about, and people who are participating in our Contribute to Earn program. It's really cool to be able to do all this stuff together and get direct feedback from everyone and also immediate feedback, because then we can try new things like this. Or, you let us know early on what are you interested in seeing? What's not working for you? What can we do better in? So anyway, that's I think sharing what Christopher just shared about like the surveys. I think that's a great example of that, of this new way of communicating with our community, like doing this every week. Hey, we tried the surveys, guys. What we tried out didn't work. We didn't like it. Here's why. And that explains. It's not like we're ignoring it. It's just like we didn't have the best luck with this first go at it, and I think we're gonna try it again. But here's why. So I really appreciate this new model of communicating.
Just working with the Rocketeers and the mods too. Mm-hmm. They've from when we first engaged with everyone until now, just the level of conversation and the feedback is amazing. Mm-hmm. Everyone's becoming an expert. Some of the Rocketeers and mods that we first started working with, they would say out front, like, look, I just love the product and the project, but I'm really not technical. And that was kind of like, there's a caveat, but if you talk to them now, you would think they've been in tech for years. So that's cool. It's like everyone's been kind of thrown into the fire and learn really quickly, and you have to be on your toes and you pick up things, and everyone's like fucking really smart. So it's been kind of cool to see the community grow too, and even the team around us that's been helping out, because the level of the detail and like just submitting support tickets, because the more detail you can get, the faster we can close them. If it's just like, hey, a when token or it doesn't work, that doesn't help us at all. But if you can really drill down, like what doesn't work, how do you explain that to the dev team so we can actually solve it faster, is amazing. Yeah, the brains, exactly. Decentralized brain network. Let's go.
Well, that's kind of what's been that's what's been so interesting about doing this in this really open, community focused way this time. So often when we hear people talk about products in the past before Web3, it would be like you have to, almost like dismissive users. You have to make it really like really easy, because people just aren't going to understand how stuff works. So you have to kind of dumb it down for them. I mean, Jesse, I know you and I in years past have been in product meetings and tech pitches, and we've heard that kind of thing. And honestly, that's not true anymore. It's always important to have a simple and effective UI. Good UI design is paramount, but that's because good UI design is good and bad UI design is bad. But you don't actually what's amazing about the Web3 community is people are smart and they're learning this stuff, and you don't have to sort of pretend that it's not there anymore. What we've seen is that for about half of all of our UpRock users, this is their first foray into Web3 and into crypto. And so what we're seeing is that UpRock is actually a way of teaching them about it. But people are learning. They're reading the documents. They're learning this stuff. They're learning the lingo and how it all works. And I a couple years ago, maybe a couple years ago, when we first started looking into crypto and first started being interested in this, it was pretty esoteric. It wasn't that common. And now, anytime I hear somebody be like, ho, crypto's just a passing fad, I look at them and I'm like, what would you have said after the airplane was invented? Ho, airplanes are just a passing fad. The crypto community is as inevitable as tomorrow now. It is absolutely, it's wild to see this shift going on. And the unfortunately, too many people who are, maybe in positions of power in some parts of the world are in the non-believers, because they don't understand. It's here. It's not coming. It's here. More great things are coming on crypto, but crypto is here. Crypto has fundamentally changed the way the world transacts and interacts.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, Trump has his own NFT collection. So the leader of the free world has an NFT and his own coin. So it's here to stay.
Today's impossibility is tomorrow's convention, and
true.
The night is waning. So tomorrow's here soon.
Yep, and then like I said, we were mentioning before you jumped on, Chris. DPIN, that term also took off this year. I mean, I think it started last year with the Massar article, but really, a lot of people were getting funding at the end of last year. But this is a year where it really took off, and so a lot of people were doing epic campaigns like our IoTex partners. They launched the largest DPIN campaign ever that happened this year, and so in many ways, DPIN was starting to grow. Some companies are starting to now start making revenue like we are. I think next year, like this whole year of building, you're going to start seeing the fruits of all that labor next year, especially with us as well, because we just started to make revenue. We launched, we got our funding just 6 months ago, and we've had other startups before. It takes time to make some actual revenue, and the fact that we're already doing it 6 months after our funding, I'm blown away by that, because sometimes it takes years. And so we don't take it for granted. It is actually really hard to get people to like your product enough to give you some money for it. And the fact that we're actually go out there and sell some of the network resources, like the bandwidth and the compute resources, and actually generate revenue, or even with the offer wall, people are actually playing the games and then get paid in UPT, that actually generates revenue. It's pretty awesome. And then, so a big part of not only we want to make it so that you're earning more passive, you're getting the active tasks like the ore mining, the heavy tasks. There's also the offer walls where you do something, the surveys. But their other mission is the passive task. And so the way to boost that up is everyone's earning more, and that's going to get paid for by the actual data and bandwidth business, which is the B2B side. So the more we make money on the data side, on the bandwidth and compute, we use that revenue to buy back UPT, so that your passive income, the passive task where you're earning just per hour, that actually the value of that UPT increases very quickly, so that it also is worth more of your time to just keep the app running as well. So you can earn a lot by doing active, but we also want you to earn a lot by doing just keeping the app open with the passive. The passive side, we can only increase that by actually doing what we're saying we're going to do on the B2B side, which is getting out there, being able to increase the number of transactions for the bandwidth compute for companies. And that is what we have set ourselves up to do. And it's just starting to happen this month with the revenue, and it's going to be all about 2025. That's going to be huge for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, 2025 is going to be big. So anyway, if you want to see the list of what we come, what is this, Drew? What did you ask? Since Trump has does that mean? Jesse, let me read it off real quick for folks who aren't viewing, they're just listening. Drew asked, if Trump has NFTs, does that mean NFT means nice fake tan?
Yeah. I swear to God, someone's going to probably on pump.fun launch a coin called Nice Fake 10 right now.
by the time this live stream is done, there's Nice Fake 10 is Nice Fake 10 is $100 million market value FTV.
Yeah. I swear to you really come with the puns every week. You're so good at it.
Yeah,
I love it though. It's
I love it.
I love that this. I love that this community is overall pretty positive. I know there have been some tough weeks and some weeks when people have come ask tough questions, but I think we've always been really dedicated. We talk about this sometimes before the calls. If if there's somebody's upset about something, like, we had some weeks when KYC was difficult while we were still working on that and making it good and all of that kind of stuff. And we always said we got to address every question head on, like not to leave questions sitting on the floor at the end of the live stream, but address them head on and just be honest with our community. And we've built a really, I think, when I pop in the Discord and take a look and stuff like that, I think compared to some other communities, ours is just generally really positive and really helpful, and that's the kind of community that we're so thrilled to have.
Yeah. It's like what I said before. Be the kind of person your dog knows you can be. So be the kind of person Rocket knows we can be.
Rocket's a good boy.
Rocket's a good boy. All right, so folks, if you want to check out the list of like what happened this last year with us and what's coming forward, go to X under X/UpRock.com and you'll see it there. Ross posted up a very great article on all of that. And huge shout out. Thank you so much to the Rocketeers and contributors for helping us, helping him put that together. They really worked all together this past week and a half to put pen to paper, or I guess fingertips to keypad, and really appreciate your help with that. There was a lot that happened this last year, and I forgot about some of them until oh yeah, shit, we did that, and we accomplished this with the help of the community and the whole team and everyone. So thank you guys so much for helping us out with that. And folks, go check it out on x.com/UpRock.com. You'll see the 2024 year recap in our top posts.
Cool. Nice.
Cool. All right. So we could do some quick product updates, and then I think let's just call it a day. It is Boxing Day. I'm sure some of you listening might want to, I guess if you're in Canada or Canadian land, might want to get some shopping in. But there's surely some leftover food that we can all get to and maybe back to work for a bit till the end of the year. But so quick product updates. So we talked about last week, we had the iOS UI update where we really just we kept getting rejected because the reviewers said that we were too prominently featuring the game section, and we needed to introduce
digital tab.
Defocus that, and then we thought, well, okay, how about this instead? We will release the cashback deals. So like you do shopping online, and you get use one of these deals, and you get some cash back for that. So that's still in the pipeline. So that's not, the release is not out public yet, but that's still in the pipeline. That is coming. So just want to give you that heads up. Not much to report on that, but other than
but showing off the new UI as well.
Well, we showed this last week, so if you didn't catch it last week, then here, it's new to you today. So this is the new interface. We still have the games under offers, but we have this new section under the offers too called deals, and this is where you will be getting cashback deals. This is not on Android yet. This will be on iOS first, which is a new thing for us. We usually do Android first. So that's coming soon, and then the home screen will just de-emphasize the games.
Well, and specifically, Jen, it's not really the games exactly. It's digital tasks to earn. Yeah, and that's really the issue here. They're okay with digital tasks if you're shopping. So as long as it's because the wallet, the future of all wallets are going to help you save money, earn money, and that's going to and even talk to you with AI. And so Apple's going to have to figure out how to allow most of this stuff in the future. But for now, we're going to play this game. And so the game is we have to show that overwhelming primary purpose of the UpRock wallet is the wallet. And of course, the wallet earns you things, passive tasks, but it needs to be majority wallet features and majority tasks that are not just digital. So as long as we add in like a shopping thing, then it puts us over to 50%. The primary purpose is the wallet shopping. Then we can actually add other tasks. We can increase heavy tasks. We can do more of the on-chain things, and we can do more of the games and things like that, as long as we have a lot more of the other tasks. So just we're a game we got to play with iOS. We're going to change the description of the app title and the App Store description too. That's all how those changes are already happening over the past week. So hopefully we're going to submit it for review. Our goal is on the next live stream to give you good news and say by the first of the year on January 2nd, it is approved and we can move on. So that is our goal. We're implementing these last changes. We're just taking our time with it and making sure, we're just kind of nitpicking every single word right now. so that when we do submit it, we have a really high chance of not getting rejected. So
and
the good news is
had too much figgy pudding last night, so I took yesterday off for Christmas. So that's you're gonna have to just be honest with that. So
well, and the good news is that the play to earn games are still going to be there, and they're just going to be you'll just have to click into the right section of the app to find them. But if you want them, they'll be there, and and available with lots of earning opportunities there. And also, as I said with last week, sometimes it's funny how timing works out, because we've been working for months on a deal for these cashback deals precisely. And so when that came up as an option, it was like, wow, I'm glad, that Jesse's been negotiating that for months. So I'm glad that we were actually, had that so far in the pipeline that we were able to say, okay, now we're going to just spin up the engineering on this right away.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I think when we add that, then we will have less trouble in the future for passive tasks and more earning tasks and more on-chain stuff. I think we'll just have less trouble with them as long as we add that shopping thing there. Yeah, because they'll look at it. The reviewers are just take our app, they just look at the app for like a minute. They just kind of quickly skim over the things. And if they see the word shopping, they're like, okay, it's fine. It's a reward program for shopping. Then they'll probably won't pay attention so much to the actual digital tasks that are on chain or passive. It's just right now, all they see is this is all on chain, it's all passive stuff. And for some reason, they don't like that. So play their game, and then we can win and be approved and then move on. Yeah.
Yep. All right, great. And also for Zod, if you read our tokenomics, you will see that all the revenue that comes in through deals like this you see how it feeds back into actually, let me just share it on here. Let me just bring that up while I'm typing it up. Jessica, Chris, you guys can talk about the tokenomics and how the revenue works on that.
Yeah. So, we make UPT central to our ecosystem. So whether it's revenue from the consumer side, the consumer app side, which is like the active tasks, or on the B2B side. So all the bandwidth and compute that millions of devices actually generate, we go out and sell it on everyone's behalf, and then we use the revenue to do a few things. One, we buy back UPT and burn. So UpRock.com/tokenomics, that link. And then we also buy back UPT for treasury, and we spend that. And then the other side of it, we put into liquidity pools. And then we determine which liquidity pools we need. So sometimes we might need to beef up our UPT Sol pool. Sometimes we beef up our UPT USDC pool. Liquidity pools, you have to monitor. It's not like set and forget it. You have to constantly kind of adjust and evaluate based on the need. But a large chunk of the revenue is actually going back to buy back UPT and burning it. That's a big part of how the revenue works. And that's what helps the token price value increase as well. That's actually very key. So, right now we can generate, like I said, our goal is to have about 15,000 a month this month. Really, it's 50,000 is what we want to get to really quickly in the first quarter. Buying back $50,000 worth of UPT every month is going to have a huge impact, guys. I'm just letting you know, because that is a major amount of revenue to buy back UPT every month. And we're going to get there because we already know what the deals are. We already know the revenue partners. We already know our traffic numbers. We know our install numbers. We know our compute and bandwidth numbers. We know how much we can sell for it, and we already have people who are willing to pay for it. So this would be very powerful. So if you're not familiar with it, go to uprock.com/tokenomics, and you can see how this revenue works for you and works for the community.
Yep. All right. And then let's see. I think that's here we go. Let me put this back up. And then I thought we'd just do a quick update on Prism. We did talk about it last week and the week before, but maybe just the elevator quick. Not elevator pitch, but a quick 30 seconds or so, or 1 minute or two before we hop off for the week.
Yeah, sure.
UpRock, our DP as a service platform.
Yeah, UpRock Prism. So again, we're a two-sided business. So we have the reward program side. Our mission on the reward program is to build the world's best reward program that's crypto native, that the world can participate in for sharing their unused bandwidth and the internet compute power, and use that to make passive income, but also do more useful things with those tokens. So spend it on useful products, swap them for rewards, swap them for your phone bill, etc. So that's a reward program. And this is what powers our B2B Prism platform. So deepen as a service. So as a company, what could you do As a developer, what could you do when you have access to millions of devices that are token incentivized to stay active, to participate, to do surveys, to polls, to rewards, to just keep the app running? What can you do with that network? Well, it turns out there's actually quite a few products that are far superior if they're DePIN powered. So one of them is data scraping. That's a powerful one. With AI, it's going to need real-time data at scale, hyper-local, geo-targeted location data. And that is best through mobile devices. And that's going to be a powerful one. People pay premium per gigabyte on mobile versus desktop. So that's web scraping at scale with powered by DePIN. Second is uptime monitoring or speed tests. So every company that has internet, which is everyone now, wants to always know how fast is my service is running, whether it's your server, RPC server, or just your website. You want to be able to say it's called uptime monitoring. And this is what developer teams need as well. They want to make sure, is our site running fast? Is it loading well for people around the world? Is it always up? And now these days, you want to be able to share that with your communities. Like, yes, we run a great service. We prove it. Here's our status page. And a lot of crypto companies have this. Solana has it. Look up Google Solana status page, or any crypto company worth their salt. They'll have a status page that shows you, here's our network over time, and here's how we maintain our uptime and our speed tests over months and years. Today, those products are not powered. Usually those products are enabled because you're loading these sites and loading these, pinging these servers across maybe 10 or 20 data centers around the internet. A far superior way to do that is actually do it. What do actually people see when you load it on someone's phone? And you can do it from many geolocations. So we'll have a far better status page product, because now you can tell your community, like, hey, our network, the Solana network, or whatever company that adopts this, we can say we actually live at 190 different countries around the world, and here's our uptime in every single country, and you can really break it down, and we can prove to you that we're well. And another thing there too is, like, more granular data means developers of those networks, people who actually work on them, can use this same product to say, wow, we're really slow in this geolocation. Why is that? We need to figure that out. And this is also why it's really more powerful. And so the more data, the better. And this is also a better way to do it with DePIN. And then the third one is custom compute jobs. This is the stuff like ore mining. This is stuff like Dash Project. There's a lot of companies who want to be able to send and do load testing. Like, let's say you have a new website, you're about to go live, you have 1 million community members in your Discord channel. You're really nervous that your site's going to go down. Well, before it goes up, you might want to test it first. So that's called load testing. So they can actually send that job to the UpRock network. The UpRock network, we can actually pummel that site or server or whatever with 10,000 nodes and give them a report, like, here's what's happening to your site, and it's going slow. And also the developers can monitor what's happening. So that's a load testing product. But there'd be a lot of other compute services out there. So cybersecurity tests. You want to test your bank, like what happens when a lot of people loaded your bank site. Custom compute, like on-chain tasks, which is, or if you want to be able to actually do some actual hardcore compute jobs on the device itself, and in the future AI training, because I think a lot of the models are getting smaller and smaller and very specialized and niched. And you might want to build that. You might want to actually run those tasks locally instead of on a server as well. And so those things are coming. That third one's a little bit harder because, and Chris, maybe you can talk about this in more detail, but we do not want people to just run random code on people's devices. So it's very sandboxed, and we don't ask for permissions we don't need. But we also need to be very careful with this third product, because it's a very powerful one for security reasons, privacy reasons. But third, we don't want to get bogged down doing highly specialized projects where we're just working for one company at a time and just get bogged down for like a client-based business. We need to really think platform-based. Like, what are the APIs or tools we can provide where instead of we're just kind of helping out 2 or 3 companies a year, what kind of API can we build where maybe 100 or 1,000 people can actually access the network and run some compute jobs? So maybe you can speak to that a little bit. But those are 3, guys: uptime, data scraping, and custom, like on distributed compute jobs.
Yep, absolutely, and we're working hard on all of it. All right, guys. Well, yeah. All right. So yeah, to the third one, you said I'd talk about it a little more. I'm just thinking about that as I say. Yeah. So the third one, we've been working really hard on building a sandbox runtime. Obviously, we're gonna be very, very cautious with this. So the first jobs are only ones that we've created ourselves, where we've helped the company create the code. And as we move forward and as we get more confident in making sure that we can, really be sure about the security guarantees of what runs, and even then, it's going to be a long time before we open this up where anybody can just come in and do it. We're going to still review every task that goes in by hand for but quite possibly forever, certainly for the foreseeable future. But this may well be something like, just as we're frustrated about some of the App Store review policies, sometimes we're going to also want to make sure that when we're letting tasks run on people's devices, that they're very, very safe and secure. So we may well just have a permanent review process where when you want to, submit a new task, you've got to go through our review process to make sure that it meets our guidelines and that it's respectful of our community. But the other ones, like the performance monitoring and the uptime monitoring, is something that anybody can do. So those are really easy.
The uptime monitoring and the speed, uptime monitoring and status pages are coming along really well. In January, you guys are going to see a really significant update with this first. We're also going to we got a ton of grant applications through our partnership with the Super Team Earn program, and we reviewed a bunch of those. We reviewed some that we've gotten. So in January, we're going to announce some of the grant winners as well. So right in the beginning of the year, we're going to do that. So that's pretty cool. We got some great teams that are helping us build this uptime monitoring service out, and so we're excited to be able to share that soon as well. But this is going to be probably the first product you guys are going to see, and it looks amazing. We cannot wait to show you more. We're going to announce it as we go off it. We're going to announce it with a couple of partners too. But yeah, this is probably the first one. It's going to be uptime and monitoring status page will probably go out first before web scraping. But yeah, it's coming kind of great. So really, really excited for the new year to be able to share this soon with you guys. I think that's the main thing about Prism. It's like the network, the community powered network is what enables this Prism product to even exist. Mm-hmm. And it's a deepen as a service. So we've identified 3 key products that are very related. They're all about being able to crawl the internet in real time and do tasks, whether they're bandwidth or compute, across specifically mobile first network, which is what makes it lucrative for everyone involved, for all of us. The more revenue we make, the better, more powerful UPT gets. And that's what 2025 is going to. So we're just getting a taste of that revenue now. And 2025 is going to really ramp up fast. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yep, there you go. Hey, love and support this initiative. Awesome.
Thanks, Gorkum.
Thank you.
All right. So that's that was our recap for the year and our tell you what we got going on. Well, honestly, already been going on, but to be released very soon in 2025. I think that it was really great to hop on. Oops, let me turn this off. It was really great to hop on with you guys. I know we were thinking like, the day after Christmas might be a little tough for us, but I'm glad that we all were here.
I'm glad we do this. They're doing it every week, no matter what. I'm a big fan of that. And I just, maybe for me, the big recap on the year is, we went from just a very nascent idea, just starting out. And in the past year, we put a whole bunch of fuel in this rocket and got it flying. And now we're starting from that great point so much further ahead with all the things we've accomplished. We're just building on top of that. It makes it exponentially easier and more effective for each additional thing that we do.
Yes, I love this whole team. I love the community. I love the mods and the Rocketeers. I think we're all doing this together. I'm very excited for what 2025 brings, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to finish off, we launched with the community with Jupyter, and our philosophy at that point was, let's launch it at a reasonable token price, because we want our story to be, we only have room to grow. And I'm so glad we did that, because it really is how it works. Instead of too high and crash and burn, we really have a lot of room to grow. In the past 6 months, we've built a lot. 2025, again, is going to be where we can actually build a product where companies companies need and make the internet a better place, and build this network that actually drives revenue and brings out the value UPT. So this is what's exciting for us. Like, that's what the past 6 months was about. We started off with that philosophy. We've ended it with that one. You guys enabled it. Really appreciate all your support for 2024. Chris, you're looking awesome with your cigar. Merry Christmas, everybody.
You guys as well. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everyone. As always, and especially on the unboxing day, thanks so much for coming and joining us for this hour. It means a lot.
We'll see you next year.
Everybody, Happy New Year.
Bye-bye, everyone. Ciao. Happy New Year's.
See you next week. Bye.